Hello, my name is Eric Bierman, and this is a 1990 Buick Century Limited with a 3.1 liter engine, and I'm replacing the cam sensor, which is located just underneath the power steering unit. And basically what I had to do at first, I didn't videotape all the steps because I didn't know how long it was actually going to take me. But I disconnected the battery. Usually you disconnect the negative side. I disconnected the positive side. I've been having a problem with the negative side of my battery. I need to get a new battery. So I just disconnected the positive side. Took off the belt. So around the alternator. Went ahead and removed the alternator, which is, here's a bracket. 3 fasteners that hold the bracket to the motor, which is, there's one here, one here, one here, and these are 15 millimeter. I used a 1/2 inch drive ratchet and a 15 millimeter socket. And then the alternator, the base of the alternator connects to this hole, and the upper alternator bracket connects to this upper hole here. And also had to remove this little kind of protection cover that kind of goes around the belt routing, because you can't pull out the power steering right here because it actually blocks kind of part of this pulley, so you can't pull it straight up. And also well, I'll show you that in a minute, but still with the alternator, so I told you the 3 bolts to the motor in the front, which is one down here, one there, one there. There's also a 15 millimeter right back here. I don't know if you can see the hole or not. It's just to the left of that number 1 spark plug, just above the exhaust manifold. And then I had to remove I believe it's using a 13 millimeter socket, a fastener here that holds this bracket, which goes up to the upper alternator bolt. And then I had to remove another nut which attaches this bracket, which is a lower bracket, to this nut right there. I'm pointing to it right there, and that's what both of these nuts are for. And went ahead and removed the wire routing here, so it's kind of not in my way, and also removed the plug which actually goes to the sensor. And I just used a pair of needle nose pliers just to pull it through that bracket. Just pinched it. But I mean, if you're getting rid of this, you just cut it off and just make sure you probably capture this piece just so it's not laying around on your motor or something. But to remove the power steering, you've got 3 fasteners, and they're 13 millimeter, and I used a deep socket right here, 3/8 drive, deep socket. And there's a hole, you can position the pulley, it's got holes here, so there's one bolt about 2 o'clock position, another bolt about 4 o'clock position, and then one about 7 o'clock position. And what I do is I first loosen them all, just to make sure that they're all loose, and then once they're all loose, I just take the socket and just pull them all out. And once you've got all those fasteners removed, which they're all right here, 1, 2, 3, 13 millimeter, get those removed, you pretty much got to pull up on this power steering unit and kind of get it out of your way, and then get some light on it down here. Here you can see my sensor, the cam sensor. I just got done replacing the intake manifold gaskets from the OEM composite, which were basically plastic intake manifold gaskets, to the Felpro kit. Incredible, awesome kit. So highly recommend it if you think you got vacuum leaks, or if you got coolant leaking into your motor, or you got oil leaking into your coolant, which that's what I had. A little bit of coolant seepage into my radiator. But then there's a 8-inch or 8 millimeter socket, or not socket, excuse me, a bolt that attaches this cam sensor to the block, which I've already removed. And it might take a little, I had to use a screwdriver to kind of put it underneath that. See if I can get a screwdriver to show you. Basically took a screwdriver here, and I basically moved the sensor just to make sure it was loose, and then put it underneath there and kind of pried up on it a little bit, and it came right out, so there was no problem there. And you can see on this sensor, I should have actually replaced it when I did the intake manifold gasket. I did see that there looked like there's some insulation damage up to this thing, and it looks like there's two wires where the insulation has just kind of been cut. So I don't know if it's creating a short or possibly a bad signal to my PCM. But then basically you just reassemble all of it. Sorry you didn't get to see the total disassembly, but it's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty easy. You know, if you got any questions, send me. Just put a question on my my YouTube video, and I'll answer any questions that you got. I'm going to oil up this O-ring on the sensor before I put it in, and then I believe you tighten the fastener, the 8mm fastener, which is right here, to, I believe it's 88 inch-pounds for that. And I'll put the other specs, for the torque specs for the power steering and the alternator as I find them. But usually I just tighten them till they're tight. You know, you're tightening everything into aluminum, so you don't want to over tighten. So you just want to kind of be careful with that. Kind of start everything by hand. Make sure everything's threaded. Don't use air tools. Don't recommend it, because that's how you end up stripping and messing up the threads on stuff. So hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna get this thing together, and should just look like it did before I tore it apart. Alright, thank you very much.